Hello and welcome, and I'm here to continue my campaign series. This time I'm going to talk about the Spanish in Rome Total War Vanilla. And the Spanish, as you all know, start off in Iberia. Well, technically these guys should just be called the Iberian tribes. I think CA made a very big mistake in calling these guys Spanish, but oh well, you can't really do anything about it. So the Spanish start divided in, well, Spain. You know, two provinces on the left, two provinces on the right. They start off in a, I think they start off in a very good position for a rush. If you rush the two settlements in the middle, you could easily take over Spain, and from then on out, after consolidating Spain, you could push into Gaul and North Africa if you wish. So what I suggest at the very beginning is build roads and build walls in all your settlements. Just build the first level wall. That's good enough. Afterwards, send out all your troops. When I mean all your troops, I mean all your troops. And afterwards, build peasants in all the troops after you send all your troops out. And I think you should disband those town militia because they're absolutely useless units. You're never going to really use them. Just really take out all your troops and combine them into one huge gigantic army. Consolidate all your troops in the Gallic city in the middle. Also use your spy to your advantage. I guess in this now I could talk about the shrines that Spain has. Well, Spain has 4 different shrines. But I think the best shrines would be Shrine of Isis, which allows you to eventually build Bull Warriors and Naked Fanatics. Those are basically your best units that you have in the Spanish roster. Also, the Shrine to Epona would be pretty good. Although, if you build the Shrine to Epona, it doesn't allow you to build Bull Warriors. It just allows you to train units with extra experience upgrades. So what I suggest for your Spanish army to eventually be is for you to just build a lot of Bull Warriors. You can see there, just a lot of Bull Warriors, and have your shrines, have your temples to Epona be the buildings in which you build cav units. So you build shrines to Isis. You build shrines to Isis in order to build Bull Warriors, and you build shrine to Epona in cities when you want to build cav, essentially. The other Spanish unit that would be pretty good, I think, would be the Scutarii. Although, obviously, in the actual game, in multiplayer, the Scutarii are just horrible units. But in vanilla, in the campaign, the Scutarii are okay, although I think the Bull Warriors are better because I think it's easier to make. It's cheaper. The buildings you build are cheaper, and plus, as a barbarian faction, Spain's buildings allow you to build high tier units really quickly. Although in the late game, you really suffer, especially against Rome, if you don't conquer them quickly. So you can see here I'm consolidating my forces, pushing everyone to Numantia. I suggest you try and take over Gaul, or at least the Gallic city in the middle, very quickly, and then right afterwards send them south to attack Carthage. Because if you don't, you'll find that the Julii and the Gallic armies will actually come and confront you in Spain. That's why you have to take over the cities very quickly in a kind of blitz strategy. I also suggest using your generals as very offensive heavy cav units. They may not be as good as, let's say, Eastern generals, but they get the job done. Also, Spain doesn't have too good cav early on. The only cav you could really build is the round shield cav, which is okay for running down troops, but not good against killing troops. So you see at the beginning, I'm running out of money very quickly. So what I like to do with all the factions, this could work with any faction, is to send your diplomat to talk to any other faction and basically ask them, give them map information and tell them to give you like what 1600 denarii. It gives you a lot of funds early on in the game, especially if you're gonna do this rush kind of strategy like I'm doing. Because rushes, you might notice that if you rush, you're gonna lose a lot of money quickly on. But eventually, if you are able to capture a lot of settlements, you could bypass that. So now you see here, I easily taken Numantia, but if I don't consolidate Spain quickly, I'm gonna lose Osca, my city on the very right, against the Gallic hordes, because they will be appearing at the Pyrenees very quickly. And you might also notice I'm just doing some general work, passing down retinue to my younger family members. Good to do that, because most of the time your faction leader just dies off in like the first turn or so. So again, just leaving all my troops and building a peasant there to garrison the city. Gonna send them south to Cordoba. Now the bad thing about Spain is that your cities are not the richest of cities, because obviously Spain is not really developed at this point. The only real developed cities for the barbarian factions in general are the Italian cities, so eventually you're gonna have to invade Italy. So you immediately see a Gallic army appears at Osca. There's really nothing I could do at this point. I just have to grind it out. And you see Carthage is moving on to Carthago Nova. But don't worry, in the end, you should be able to conquer Cordoba. And even if you lose Osca or Carthago Nova to troops, you should have enough troops to take those cities back. And you might notice I recruited a unit of Balearic slingers. In Spain, the best mercenaries I think would be the Balearic slingers. You should consider building all of them. So unfortunately, my faction leader dies. Oh well, I got a new one, so it's all right. See that all the Romans declared war on the Greek city-states. Poor Greece, it's gonna get owned by Macedon and everyone else. Yeah, unlike what I say for all the other factions, building ports for the first turn in Spain is not a really good idea because it won't add too much money. Spain's maritime trade is surprisingly bad. The only thing that Spain in general has is mines, and it costs a lot to build mines, so not the best thing to invest in. And you might notice that immediately the Julii Romans attack me. To be honest, when I began playing this for the first time, I was baffled that they'd attack you so early, but yes, as Spain, you're gonna have to deal with Julii assaults. I don't know why. I think the Julii commander somehow overlooked the Gauls and is immediately gonna charge at you. In other words, he's just gonna ignore Gauls. Who cares? I mean, it's not like they were my enemy for like life, but oh well. They're just gonna invade Spain because obviously the Julii see Spain as greater threat than Gaul. Because as the human player, of course, you're gonna obviously kill everyone in your path. So in this campaign, I lost a lot of family members actually, but it's all right. You'll grow some more family members if you lose them. Just remember to not lose all your family members, or your faction for some weird reason disappears.
Sir. Yes, master. Out of move.
Yeah, I think at this point I'm just yeah, I just combined my troops to create a full army, essentially disbanded the skirmisher unit, and I recruited a peasant And you see here I got another candidate for adoption, and another guy appeared, so these guys will do some very good killing. Because they're general bodyguards, that's what they do. So you see that the Julii have basically invaded me. There's really nothing I could do about it. So after you consolidate Spain, it would be of your best interest to eliminate any remaining armies. Like you see there's a few Carthaginian and few Gallic armies still left in Spain. So what you have to do is just do your best to eliminate everything, and then after that, go to Osca and defend Osca from any Julii assaults. Afterwards, I would think that you should head northeast into Gaul, and after that southeast into Italy, because Italy is where all the rich provinces lie in. I suggest building barracks only for the earlier parts in the game, because Scutarii are Spain's third infantry unit. So in other words, you're gonna have to be very you're gonna have to get into a very high tech with your cities in order to actually use the crappy Scutarii unit. That's why I suggest you just head on with the Bull Warrior unit instead. Ignore the barracks essentially, and just build up your shrines. I also suggest ignoring the practice ranges and the archery buildings, because Spain's best archery unit would be the slingers, and slinger units are not very good in vanilla Rome. They're not like archers at all. They're not effective. They're not as effective as archers. You can see here that Gaul, hilariously enough, demands for me to become a protectorate. And unfortunately, the Romans attacked me in Osca, and I'm forced to lose the city. If you get any negative drawbacks like that, don't worry about it. You can just push onwards, and you should be able to take over Osca or any other city that the Julii sends at you. See that I bribed an army to get a free Iberian infantry unit. Iberian infantry are not too good, but hey, they get the job done if you have generals' bodyguards doing hammer and anvils. And they can stand toe to toe against the warband units of Gaul.
General. Sir, the siege.
So at this point, once I basically pacified all of Spain, took over all the Gallic, well, destroyed all the Gallic armies, bribed the rebels you see here. Good to bribe these guys. Although I get a crappy skirmisher unit, just disbanded it. So after destroying all the Gallic and Carthaginian armies in Spain, I'm ready to move on to Osca. Gonna get another Roman guy. I mean, a Spanish guy, or Iberian if you want to get technical. We got a guy named Lucan. Good for Lucan. That was a lot of diplomatic work there between the factions. I probably should have stayed and looked at what happened, but I kind of pressed a button before I really realized. So you see the Temple of Isis also allows you to build naked fanatics, but naked fanatics are not too good. Just build bull warriors essentially. That's gonna be your only main real unit. That and long shield cav. So after taking Osca, good for you, you finally consolidated Spain. But unfortunately, the Julii army landed an army under Quintus Julius out to attack the Spanish for some reason. I don't know. I think the Romans just want to have a field day with the Spanish. I don't know. It just baffles me that they would just completely ignore Gaul and go for Spain. I think in this scenario, the Gauls and the Romans actually ally with each other, which just makes me very pissed off. Yeah, which is unfortunate, but you just have to deal with it. Ugh, Gauls acting me to pretend to become a protectorate. So I just told them to just F off, essentially. Apologies for the language. So Spain's all fine and dandy, and I have to take over defend my lands against the Julii and the Gauls. So after you eventually do that, you should push northeast into Gaul. Obviously, I don't think you should take over all of northern Gaul. It's useless. After you take over southern Gaul, southern France, you should move eastwards, take over Mediolanum, take over Batavium, head southwards, take over those 3 Julii cities, and south even more to conquer all of the Julii cities. After you conquer the Julii cities, you should have enough money to head north and pacify all the other barbarians. And hopefully, at that point, you should be able to conquer everyone else.